Hello, good morning. Today is Tuesday. What's the date? September 6th, 2011. And today is video number 10, and it will be juice number 9 for me on my juicing journey, which does not mean steroid junkie journey. So my name's Sam, and if you're just joining me, these videos are about me learning how to juice, and I'm kind of doing it on film, slightly as tutorials and slightly as just documenting the journey for myself. I didn't juice yesterday, which was the first time in 8 days, I think, that I didn't juice. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, I'm also still on HCG, which those of you who are familiar with HCG, I had to do a steak day yesterday, which means you don't eat at all until the end of the day. You do a steak and an apple. And that's part of a protocol that has nothing to do with the juicing. So please don't think that that's part of the juicing thing. That's, again, just if you understand what HCG is. Also, I missed it. I missed not being able to have a juice drink. So that's good news because I hate vegetables, and drinking them has proven to be the best way to get all the nutrients, and I don't hate it. It's actually become something that I kind of crave. So I'm extra excited to have a juice drink today. So here's what our agenda is today. I'm going to go over some viewer comments. I'm going to update you on how the 5:45 a.m. juicing, remember on Sunday I did it at 5:45 in the morning, how that impacted me. And then I'm going to do a mean green, and I'm going to modify it, and I'm going to tell you what the modifications are. In that modification, I'm also going to use a viewer tip to find out why it tastes like chow mein. So there'll be a little experiment there. Getting crazy here. So those are our 3 agenda items. So the first one is that, and I'm going to try and go slightly fast so that we can get these to be minimally shorter, but I think I know, or we all know that I talk. So my friend Megan from Hawaii, she had some really great comments. And one of them, I'm going to quote them, love, love, love the juicing videos, and then some stuff in between. And then she said, all those factors combined, we found juicing to be a bit comical before, meaning before watching my videos. But throw a bit of Sam's famous dry humor in there, and bada bing, I have now watched your videos more than I've watched TV in the last 24 hours. Hi Megan, I'm so glad you're joining us, and I totally miss you, and think you're so awesome. Here's what else Megan offers. She said the celery and the ginger that I'm using, that's probably what's causing the chow mein flavor. And I think she's probably right. So we're going to do a little experiment later to find out how. She said that she has tried juiced celery and she won't do it at all. She can't stand it. She would prefer spinach. She also likes to use pineapple and carrot, which I haven't ventured into, primarily because I didn't buy them at the store, and then secondarily because pineapple and carrot are really high in sugar, and the phase that I'm in right now on HCG is not conducive to that much sugar. So maybe down the road I'll try that. And then what I thought was really funny and interesting is that she commented on all the different t-shirts that I wear, which is funny because she and I think we went to college together, or we were somewhere in the college arena together, so I've known her for a long time. She says, whatever shirt you wear becomes a billboard. I spent all of video 7 thinking about the U2 and Soweto Gospel Choir collaboration from the World Cup tour last year. Then video 8, I thought about the progression of shirt styles from the Master's College, which is where we went to college. So hilarious. I didn't even think about the t-shirt thing. So today's shirt is the Salty Dogs, which is a band, but this shirt is not the band shirt. This is a shirt made by a friend of mine who has a private club called the Salty Dogs. It's a fishing club, and they were fans of me as a human, and I was inducted into the club and got an honorary membership and t-shirt. So this is a very special shirt to me from the Salty Dog Fishing Club. So that's what this is about. And Megan, that explanation was primarily for you. The second viewer input is from Mary Tamara. Once again, I talked to her on the phone, and she had some great suggestions about a lot of things. But she suggested that in order to isolate the chow mein flavor and find out what's causing it, that I should do all of the juicing, stop before I juice the celery, and taste it, see if it tastes like chow mein. And if it does, then we'll know it's not the celery. If it doesn't taste like chow mein, then obviously we know it's the celery. I think my bet is on the celery though. So that was from Mary Tamara, and she's so smart. Duh, I don't know why I didn't think of that. So it's basically trial and error. Juicing is really trial and error in general. Okay, so the update from the 5:45 juicing on Sunday from video 9, I believe, was this. I kind of had a gurgling stomach for the majority of the morning, and maybe even the afternoon. And that might have been that I put too much spinach in. I'm not really sure. Again, this is not to be too graphic, but I do feel like the point of these videos is to include you on my journey. I also had diarrhea all morning. I'm not totally sure if it was related to the juicing or not, and I wasn't hungry, but I certainly wasn't full the way I normally am with juicing. So I wasn't like ravenous and starving, but I think around 10 or 10:30 in the morning is when I started feeling like, oh, I could eat right now. And normally I don't get that feeling until about 1 or 2 in the afternoon from juicing. So maybe juicing that early in the morning had those impacts, or maybe my body was just kind of being weird on HCG, so I don't really know. Okay, so let's move on to the modified mean green. So here are the modifications today. Instead of apples, I'm going to use pears. And the reason that I'm doing that is because when I started juicing, I bought pears because they were in some of the recipes, but I never ended up using them, and they're about to go bad. I can feel this one's kind of squishy, and this one's, you know, harder than this one. So I'm going to do this one on soft and this one on high. But that's the main modification. So I'm using those because that hopefully will be the sweetener. I don't know what's going to happen. And the other modification that I implemented last time was on Mary Tamara's advice to add parsley to every juice, because parsley is really, really good for you. But remember, parsley is very potent, so you can only have 2 ounces of juiced parsley a day. The problem is I don't know how much bulk you start with to end up with 2 ounces, so I'm fully guessing. And Tamara didn't either. Tammy didn't know either. Mary Tamara or Tammy. So it's the mean green. You can look up that recipe on jointhereboot.com, which is Joe Cross's website. Joe Cross made the documentary Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, which you should definitely watch. Okay, so here we go. Remember, I'm going to stop before I hit the celery part, and I'm going to taste it and see if it still tastes like chow mein, because I'd like to move away from that chow mein flavor. Okay, always start on low. Always start the juicer before you put your food in. These are the things I've learned, and it's been helpful. Okay. Cucumber. And I'm not timing it today because I have to stop and taste it. All right, here we go. Whoa. Even the camera shook on that. That was kind of a big cucumber, and it looks like it yielded a lot of juice. Okay, I've never done a pear. I'm doing the pear and the lemon together. See what happens. And I'm doing them on low because they're both soft. Whoa, it smells like pear. Ooh, that was weird. Okay, kale. I actually broke it ahead of time before the video, so you don't have to watch me fight it in. Let's see how it works. And this time with the kale, leafy greens always get juiced on low. And you want to do it slowly. You want to do all your foods pushing slowly so that you get the most yield, you get the most juice and nutrients. And excuse me, all of the pulp goes in here. This is what your body really doesn't digest very well. But with leafy greens, you want to go slower so that you get more yield from it. Also, while we're waiting, I went to see Shark Night 3D on Sunday night. Yeah, so I'll be giving you highlights from that. Here's the thing about that movie. It was not as lame as I thought it was going to be. So that was cool. We also got really cheap tickets. We got a deal online for something. So I think for the 2 tickets, it was like $9. So we saw a 3D movie that wasn't that lame for $9 total, 2 of us. So that's good. I'll give you more highlights in a minute. It's kind of getting loud. Okay. More kale. Actually, I'm going to do half and half, kale and parsley, because the parsley's kind of, what did I say last time? Genteel, fragile, like me. But I think it is. I'm not fragile, but the parsley is. So I'm going to put it in with the kale. Mostly that's on my instinct, and because other people have said to put leafy greens with things that are a little bit more bulky. But I don't know. Most of the stuff I'm making up. Okay, so Shark 3D. There actually were definitely some lame moments. It's kind of a skin movie. It's kind of like the old school Friday the 13th movies where it's like a lot of teenagers or college kids romping around. There were a lot of bikinis, which I'm not really into, but okay. But so there were the stupid moments and really bad acting, for sure bad acting. But I have to say, there were some pretty cool philosophical ideas thrown out there in the movie, and the plot had a twist, which was nice. Hang on, let me get these in there. Whoa, I might have put too much parsley in it. I can really smell it. Okay, well. Ah! Oh no! Oh no! Ah! I didn't notice that my juicing container had slipped. Okay, take two. So I just learned a lesson the hard way. I was talking and not paying attention to my pulp container. I'm sorry, my juice container. And it had, I think from the vibration, separated. Maybe you will see it in the playback, I don't know. And it had separated and the spout was not inside the pitcher. So I actually lost a lot of juice that way, which the last thing I had juiced was kale and parsley. So, which I remember looking down at it when I put the pear in. So I know that where I lost it was probably in the juice and the or the kale and the parsley. So that's a big drag, but that's okay. So lesson learned, pay attention, don't be talking about shark movies, and make sure that this isn't disconnected, because it was really green, like dark green, which makes me feel like it had a lot of nutrients in it. So that's a bummer. So we're gonna do this again. It's on low because there's still parsley and kale in the chute. So make sure the machine's running before you push it in. And I'm gonna pay closer attention. Even if it's loud and vibrates, I want it to touch the machine so I don't lose juice. So lesson learned. Now you know that. Hopefully you won't make the same mistake I did. Now I'm like eagle eye. I'm never gonna lose another drop of juice. Yeah, it was a lot too on the table, so I'm bummed because that last chute was really full of kale and parsley. That's okay though. Okay, then the next ones, I'm doing this pear on high because it's still a little hard, and my ginger, and then I'm going to stop, taste it, see if it tastes like chow mein, and then try the celery. So back to high, or up on high. Whoa, ginger smell, what's up? There's still juice coming out, so. Alright. Now today, this flavor is going to be different because I didn't use an apple, I used a pear, remember? So it's still kind of dripping. Considering how much I just lost, I'm going to let it keep doing that. I'm just going to stir it a wee bit because I'm going to put it back in, but let's see. Let's see if it tastes like chow mein. And note the yield so far. The yield is not as much as it's been in the past. We're at probably just over 20 ounces. So I'm just going to put my straw in and try it from here. Okay, so far, this is to see if there's a chow mein flavor. No. Definitely not chow mein. Ooh, what does that taste like? I can't even describe it. It does not taste bad. That's the first thing. I actually would venture to say it kind of tastes good, but I don't know why. I'm going to keep thinking about it. The pear definitely adds a completely different texture. It's not as tangy as before when I used the apple. And I'm going to keep thinking about that. Okay, I'm putting it on high. And now we're going to put the celery in. So loud. And if the celery yields the chow mein flavor, now we know. It offers me more liquid and nutrients. But we'll see. Okay, to wrap up the shark thing, it was an okay movie. I would give it a 3 out of 5. I think that's being generous, but I would. Okay, while that's still dripping out, I'll finish up. Excuse me. So about the shark movie, the sharks weren't lame. It wasn't like hyper CG, which I thought it would be. In fact, you didn't see them a lot, which is probably why they weren't lame. Kind of like Jaws, you rarely saw the shark in Jaws. And that was mostly because the shark that they used malfunctioned a lot. So they created the shark with the music. That's your Jaws trivia for the day. The music was by accident, actually, because they had to come up with a way to create the presence of the shark without the physical shark, because it kept shorting out in the sea water. Anyway, you didn't see a lot of the CG in Shark Night Attack 3D, or whatever it was called, Shark Night 3D. And some cool philosophical questions posed in the movie, which I appreciated. I like movies that make you think a little bit. And let's test this out. Okay, so I'm stirring it. So the yield, and remember I did have a couple of drinks. This is how much it made, which is just under 30. So I'm going to say 28 ounces. I probably just drank an ounce or two. So it's probably about 30 ounces. Oh, I forgot to put ice in. I'll add it after the video. Really all we want to do is find out, is this chow mein flavored? That's the big goal. That's what juicing has become for me. Does it taste like chow mein? Okay, here we go. So this was the Mean Green modified. Instead of apples, I used pears, and I added parsley. Okay? I was just about to say it does not taste like chow mein until the aftertaste. Hang on. It's very refreshing until the aftertaste. Okay, so it is the celery that's making that addition. But for me, you probably already know the answer. I don't care. I'll keep juicing the celery because I like what it offers me. I like that it offers more to drink and it offers nutrients. And it doesn't make me gag the way Megan from Hawaii, that was her experience. The celery makes her gag. So good to know. And I'm guessing the chow mein flavor will increase the more celery you put in. What I did try to do with the celery this time around was use more of the outer, from the bulk of celery, the outer one, the outer stalks. So it doesn't taste as chow mein-y as in the past, but still the aftertaste is chow mein. So now we know it's isolated. Thank you, Mary Tamara, for the tip. And juice on. Yeah, juice on.